When we left off, we had just made landfall in Port Angeles, Washington, after a 29-day crossing from Hawaii.
Coast Guard helicopter's coming in behind us. Another sailboat just headed out too. Coast Guard helicopter's coming in. We're going to head out of town here. We've got about 30 miles we want to do today, and we're timing that where this is like a lunchtime departure. We're trying to time it with the currents. It's very strong currents up here. The bottom of the low was probably an hour, 2 hours ago, but it's still quite a negative current against us for the next couple of hours. So we're going to hopefully time it where this negative current is getting a little bit lighter, and then we'll ride the flood current through, which floods through till sometime late tonight. And ideally we want to make at least Port Townsend, and maybe a little bit further. That would be ideal. We're going to see how we go though. The winds are a little lighter than we thought they would be, but they are out of the west, which is good news. And if we do have that flood current with us, it will definitely help our speed a lot as well. And the wind changed a lot. Once we get outside of this breakwater here, it could be a lot breezier or a lot lighter. We'll see.
Felt kind of breezy in the harbor, but I don't think it actually is that breezy out here. So now we're going to drop the sail and put the larger 140% up. So a little bit more work with the hank-ons, but it's more efficient, better sail shape for the different sizes.
Well, so no one's steering the boat, but really light winds, just the main up here, so we're really drifting along here. And the heading we want, Hillary's just dropped that working jib. How'd it go?
Good, super easy.
A little look here at how we did the sail change. Don't know if we've covered this before.
We didn't get a good chance to show you the sail changes on our sail from Hawaii, mostly because a lot of times it was wet and rainy and not a good time to have the camera out.
So what are these hanks down below here that we see?
So these are the hanks of the working jib. We can leave the working jib hanked on underneath the 140, which is really nice. So when we drop the 140, this one's already ready to go. Just took the 140%, the larger Genoa, out of the bag, and now we're just going to hank it on. Bottom one here is a soft shackle. Not a huge fan of the soft shackles, but it's a bit thicker part of the sail here with this extra leather chafe protection and whatnot. The rest of the way up, it's just these hanks. And before I do that though, I need to attach the pennant, which attaches the tack.
The pennant is simply a length of line that attaches to the tack, like Hillary said, and it gets the sail up off the deck to a certain height. So it keeps it up above where that working jib's hanked on. So it's maybe like a couple of feet up. It also helps get the foot up over the lifeline railing there. And it's more of something that works really well with like the actual cutter rig. You still get a bit of airflow under there. You're not flat to, like if you're in a racing sailboat, you'd have the sail would be kind of running right along those lifelines. We've gotten a bit of the hang of that now. We can basically change the hanks ourselves, the sails ourselves. It's not too problematic. It is more work, but at least up here in the heat, it keeps you warm. So up here in the cold, it keeps you warm. That's a good thing.
All right, halyard's going up.
So Hillary's been at the helm most of the day. I've been down below. I did some cleaned rice up and did dishes, and now I'm working on an oven project down below because our main burner is not working. It looks like the thermocouple on that is no good. Anyway, Hillary's been up here sailing wing and wing for most of the day here, and it's beautiful conditions. So different than when you're out at sea and you've got rolly swells everywhere. The wind's behind us, but there's no real swell. We got, I don't know, it's like, I wouldn't even call this 1 foot wind waves, right? Like
yeah,
barely 1 foot.
Yeah.
So being flat calm, it makes it a lot easier to go wing and wing. So both our sails are out. We're not rolling side to side, so we don't have to worry about any of the sails collapsing or flogging. It's just a gorgeous sail. And we're doing, now we've got the current with us, we're doing like 6.5 knots, and it's only going to pick up because the current's getting much stronger through till about 9 p.m. tonight. Anyway, I need to go back to the oven, so Hillary, you should come back up here.
With a nice push from the flood tide, we sailed in and dropped anchor in historic Port Townsend for the night. Known for its Victorian buildings and maritime heritage, we wanted to stay and explore. But with places to be, the next morning we got back underway to head further south into the Sound.
Sometimes I just don't see the point. And that's what this is. This is point. No point. There's no point to this point.
No point to the point?
I don't know who named it.
It looks pointy to me.
Anyway, welcome to Point No Point. Looks like another nice lighthouse and like a lighthouse keeper's house, like old school stuff.
Yeah. As we approached Seattle, traffic on the water picked up, from cargo ships to seaplanes, military boats, and of course, Washington's iconic ferries, which, as the largest fleet of ferries in the country, connect many areas of Puget Sound. That boat you can see right there, that is the Victoria Clipper, traveling at 32 knots. Pretty freaking fast. Anyways, that is a passenger ferry. It goes between Seattle and Victoria, BC. We are just coming up on Seattle here. Behind me we can see Shell Marina, which is kind of like the main huge marina in the Seattle area where a lot of boats are. And that cool old ship back there, that's some schooner tour type boat that goes out sailing in the bay. And we're just getting to view, I can see the cranes in downtown Seattle and an awesome view of Mount Rainier.
It's very busy now. We've had float planes all day long. I don't know, like 100 plus float planes. It's obviously pretty common to take a float plane out to one of the islands and then into Seattle. Lots of ferry traffic, which is pretty cool.
That is the ferry leaving from Vashon Island, and back behind Mount Rainier once again being swallowed up, blocked by the island.
It's actually really deep. Everywhere we've been here, it's extremely deep all the way up to shore. It seems like, I mean, you'll be not even 100 feet, you know, from shore, and it's still 200 feet something deep, which makes anchoring a bit of a challenge. I guess that's why you could line tie to shore. But yeah, very challenging to anchor, I would say. We're heading down the inside, the western side of Vashon Island right now. And we're gonna head to Gig Harbor tonight. And then we'll head on towards Olympia. And that's where we're planning on meeting up with a broker to get Makara here listed for sale. But you never know, because we always keep thinking about just taking the boat and working on it, or maybe taking it to Mexico. And we're kind of really enjoying the area up here right now. Maybe we could explore it. Although I'm pretty sure by the time winter's here, we would not enjoy it because we're pretty cold already.
We need our heater.
We do need it. We need a good diesel heater. That'd help a lot.
Well, it's the end of the day. The sun is just setting. And check out this incredible view back here. That is Mount Rainier, all lit up in the pink glow of the sunset. We've got a nice little perfect half moon up there somewhere, if you can see that. And we are just coming in right around the corner here. We're gonna anchor for the night in Gig Harbor. And then we'll have one more hop tomorrow. Really protected harbor in there in Gig Harbor, and that will set us up. Tomorrow we're going through a section called the Tacoma Narrows, which is an incredibly narrow point in Puget Sound with a lot of water funneling in and out. Definitely wanted to go through at slack tide. peak current right now, which we're not on the biggest tides right now, but peak current at the top of the tides right now is 5 to 6 knots going either direction. And 7:30 tomorrow morning is slack tide, which is perfect. It's just less than 5 miles out of Gig Harbor here, so that'll set us up well to get up early in the morning, head through there, and then down to Olympia. Bright and early, the sun is, well, the sun was up a while ago because the sun comes up pretty early. But we are headed out. We're gonna try and hit the slack tide at the Tacoma Narrows, and then we're headed down to Olympia, which is our final destination. Pretty exciting.
Good morning, bright and early. Somehow timed this perfect. I'd say it's about 7:30 in the morning local, which is dead on slack tide here for the Tacoma Narrows. Named because it is narrow?
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's the narrowest point, but there's a couple of bridges we're going to go under here. And right at slack tide, so that should mean it will not really affect us. We're doing about 5 knots right now. Should not have a current in either direction really affecting us. And if we do, it'll be very, very minor. I found a house for sale.
After some light winds this morning, now we have a nice breeze and we are sailing on into Olympia. Came through the Narrows, down around some beautiful little islands with some gorgeous homes on them. And now we're sailing down. We're almost at the very bottom of Puget Sound in a little place called Bud Inlet. And at the very base of it, that is Olympia, the state capital, and our final destination. While our arrival here was the end of a very long passage, it also marks the beginning of a new chapter for us. We've decided to keep Makara, refit her, and continue sailing her as our journey evolves. We can't wait to see where she takes us and look forward to sharing the adventure with you. A huge thanks to each and every one of you for following along and joining us on this crazy ride. If you'd like to help us out, please take a moment to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Until next time!
Behind me here is Mutiny Bay on Whidbey Island. Mutiny Bay is where there was a famous battle back in, I think, 1836. Was the Dread Pirate Roberts had been accused of kidnapping the Princess Buttercup, and it turns out that in the end there was a giant fight between Inigo Montoya, who the Dread Pirate Roberts I think killed his father, and this battle took place here in Mutiny Bay, and the people that weren't worthy were left back here in the next bay, which is Useless Bay. Those are the only 2 bays we've seen right now, and that's all we know about them.